Hey there, welcome to this video on note-taking for consecutive interpreting. My name is David Violet. I am a conference interpreter and coach for interpreting in California, in San Francisco area. And I was teaching something just the other day and I thought, hey, I'm going to put this into a video. It's just a few rules that I have for your note-taking for consecutive interpreting. Number one, sometimes we have something that just pops into our mind, right? We are taking notes, we're listening intently, and we are wondering what to write down, and something just pops into our mind. And my recommendation is, and this is a rule, if you will, number one, is pay attention to whatever comes to mind when you think, okay, so what do I note now? Of course, when you note something, it's not the word that you're taking down as notes. It is the meaning. So you need to listen and say, okay, what is actually happening here? What does this actually mean? And on the basis of that meaning, think up something. Usually it's a word, it could be a symbol. And many people ask, what language should it be in? Well, I would apply this rule. Just write down what pops into your mind first. It could be in the source language, the one that the speaker is speaking. It could be in the target language, the language that you are going to use when you convey all of this meaning to the audience. So which language to take notes in? The first rule answers that question to some extent. It would be whatever language the word happens to be that comes to mind first. Now, another rule, rule number 3, is that you must monitor what you write down as soon as you write it down. It should be something natural, actually. It's just like when we speak or like we do anything. If you're going to set the coffee cup on the table, you watch to make sure that it actually goes on the table and doesn't fall on the floor. When I'm speaking right now, if I say something wrong, and it happens that I misspeak, I go, oops, sorry, what I meant was, and then I tell you. So I'm monitoring what I'm saying. Same thing. When you're taking notes, you are looking at, okay, what did I just write? What will that mean to me when I see it in 5 or 10 minutes? Monitor your notes as you go. That's another rule. Another rule is that as soon as you hear a number, write down that number. You may be writing something else at that instant. Stop writing whatever you're writing and write down the number. Numbers are quite abstract, especially when you get 6, 7, 8 digits. If I tell you 1,275,629, you know that it's 1.5 million and it's a really big number, but it remains pretty abstract. Yet the audience will want to know exactly what the number was. So you need to write the whole thing down to the last digit. If for some reason you are really in a rush and you can't jot down absolutely all of those digits, in this case 7, the ones that you may leave off is the last one, or maybe the last 2, because then you've got it down to the 100 level. The same with names. When you get a name, you must write it down immediately. Don't wait. What happens is, actually, as you hear something, the sound sort of rings in your mind or in your ear for a few seconds. And during those seconds, you have time to jot down phonetically any name. You need to get a name very accurately on your page. If it's somebody in the room, if it's the city, for example, where they had their annual convention last year, these will be things that they know very well, and it will sound strange to them that you mispronounce it. There's a bit of an illusion that you're part of the group, that you know what's going on. You want to maintain that illusion. If you mispronounce something, especially an acronym or a name that they all know, it's, of course, reminds them that you are an outsider, that you're the interpreter, which is okay, but it's better if you don't. When you come to the very end of a speech, when you're taking your notes, or let's say that it is pause in the speech. Often a speaker considers that he's spoken enough. He'd rather let the interpreter do that part before he continues. So there would be a pause. When that happens, pay special attention to your notes for that very last phrase. Maybe even write down verbatim a couple of words. There's something that happens when the speaker stops and waits for interpretation. I think it's our mind is suddenly distracted. We suddenly realize, "Ooh, now they're waiting for me. Now I have to get up. Now I have to speak." And if those thoughts rush to your mind before you've thought clearly about what the person said at the end of the speech, and before you've noted down clearly something that will remind you of that, you'll be in trouble. So pay special attention to the end of any speech. And so that's pretty much the pointers I wanted to give you today about note-taking for consecutive interpreting. If you like this little talk, please give us a like below, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any comments, I would love to hear what your rules are about note-taking for consecutive or about consecutive interpreting generally. So until next time, David Violet signing off.